In this video, Spawn dies. Bludd and the vampires have won, and it is shocking. I will explain how all this went down. But alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 360, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn, it has all come down to this. Spawn has to make a deal he never thought he'd make. So we gotta go back a little bit. Meanwhile, in Hell, ever since after the events of Spawn issue 350, we heard little to nothing of Nyx, but we get a glimpse of what's going on. They don't know how long they've been digging, and they've barely said a word to one another. Their current task is all that matters. So we got these brothers just digging up holes, digging up holes, digging up holes, all because of the battleground of what happened in Spawn issue 350. So one of the warrior men is like, let's get them shoveled in. There'll be plenty of room for all of them. And the other guy is like, I'll clean whatever tracks get left behind. We got this demon dinosaur, like I'm ready to snowplow all these brothers in there, you know? So their goal is simple. Hide the dead, no matter if they're from heaven or hell. They all gotta go into the hole. There is a time to sort through the bodies, given that most belong to heaven. And these two warriors of hell will actually derive some personal pleasure in doing this task. So this demon dinosaur, this giant creature does as it's told. Like some prehistoric snowplow, it scrapes the pot of bodily dead people everywhere, and some are heaven and some are hell. But until all the dead bodies are in that hole and they're thrown into their proper spot, leaving just one thing to do for this guy. He picks up the covering, and it's to completely cover up any remnants that the troops had been wiped out. In their eyes, it's better that if God believes that they all disappeared instead of them all dying in the war that took place in Spawn issue 350. So he puts the rock down, mission accomplished, and they've done the task. Now the two of them head back to report to their queen, which is Nyx, the queen of hell. So back on Earth, Spawn and Lyra are contemplating and trying to get past her differences. Lyra believes they shouldn't go and listen to the curse in the last issue, where the curse is like, let's go ambush Bludd, take back one of the portals, and that way everyone gets their powers back, including you and all of heaven, all of hell, and just level the playing field with Bludd. Take him out of the equation. Spawn is ready to fall into that trap. Lyra is like, you know this is a trap. I don't understand why you have to be so reckless. Even Nyx warned you to stay out of it. And Spawn's like, look, I'll change your tone with me. And Lyra's like, well, whatever it is, you failed, it puts the rest of us at risk. And for what? The curse doesn't even give a damn about you. And Bludd wants you dead. Why are you doing this? And Spawn's like, I know. But you're just gonna let the vampires go on challenge? I mean, we can go back from that. We can start thinking about how we can strategize, but going in head on is not the way to do it. So Spawn tells Lyra, you do what you need to do, and I'm gonna do the same. Maybe we'll meet again. So 40 minutes later, he tells She-Spawn the plan, and She-Spawn's like, you're out of your damn mind. And Spawn's like, yeah, you heard me. I'm gonna go in head on with the curse, open up the dead zones. That way we get our powers back, and we fight it off with Bludd. That way, the vampires are not running this thing no more. And even She-Spawn agrees, like with Lyra, that you're falling into this trap. He wants this fight. Don't you get that, Spawn? And Spawn's like, yeah, but Bludd is picking us off one by one at a time. Don't patronize me, says She-Spawn. I know what the heck he's doing. So be smart. We have time. We can plan this out together. You walk out of here alone, you'll prove that you're not worthy. That Wanda was right about not standing by your side, and that pisses Spawn off. Like, we can't outrun Spawn. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. He pulled a Will Smith on it without the slap. And we can't outrun Bludd's vampires, not unless we get our powers back. And because we don't know how to, we gotta use desperate measures. So now that the emotions kind of calm down a little bit, that's all we've got left. He gives She-Spawn a little kiss, and you can tell that even though their relationship's complex, there's always something there because they share something in common together. So Spawn tells her, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Look, says She-Spawn, emotions are high right now, but not this, Al. They'll never be in us, but I believe in you, Al. This and you, let me come with you, let me help you out. And Spawn's like, you can't. If I don't come back, you need to mobilize others. And here's a list of the people I want you to protect the names of. Read them, protect them if anything happens to me. So meanwhile, at an unknown destination, his intent is to find a way to negotiate with Bludd, the leader of the vampires. But if that fails, he has to armor up like Spawn Man, Iron Man, Spawn Man, you know what I mean? Which odds say it will, so he needs to be prepared for a fallout, or at the very least, he needs to be able to take out as many of them as possible before he fails in his quest. His greatest hope, perhaps his delusion, is that Bludd will understand that having a truce with Spawn, though human right now, will serve both their needs if his powers were to ever return. So he sent out a word that he wants a meeting, so now he waits. Hours later, a messenger arrives, a traitor amid Bludd's army, willing to sell out his lord's whereabouts. So meanwhile, hell, these guys get back and inform Nyx of the whereabouts. They tell her that the bodies are buried and it's all good, and she's like, excellent, like it's crucial that they all stay ignorant to what's going on, and good job, great job, it's all good. They also tell her that the western troops are at the ready, and the north and the east hordes were deployed days ago. We will continue to devise distractions to further confuse them. That way Heaven doesn't know that these bodies were buried, that way it gives the illusion, for now, that they all disappeared. Nyx is like, I'm very pleased to hear that. So they tell her that there's one more detail that we gotta tell you, my queen. Our earthly spies confirm that Simmons, the Hellspawn, has not yet fully committed despite your latest warning. And that was a warning from Nyx in the last issue to tell Spawn, do not do this attack with Bludd, with the curse, because there's something bigger at play. Stay the heck away. And of course our boy didn't listen, so Nyx is like, why does that creature not comprehend the futility of his moves? But no matter what, he will fall in line, if only to be useful to my plans. And once he does, once he helps trigger our executioner, he is on his own. Are the bodies ready? Oh yes they are. Then make sure Simmons is around to do his part when the time comes. In the beginning of this issue, it talks about hell on earth is coming. So I don't know if she's talking about the executioner, but this is definitely like the first domino or the effect for that hell on earth is coming. So interesting. I'm curious to see how this plays out. So now that Spawn begins to sense something is right, because he's on the rooftop looking at the security detail at Bludd's corporate office, and it's usually robust, but tonight it isn't. Maybe he thinks he needs to reposition himself, but no, Bludd is like, no, get my security out the way. I want my hands on Spawn tonight, because the answer is simple. Spawn has been lied to, and Bludd picks up a pole and shattered Spawn's shoulders and impales him right there. So for a fleeting moment of hesitation that Spawn has, because he doesn't want to fight Bludd right now, he wants to negotiate with him, but Bludd doesn't want that negotiation. Bludd tells him, you made a damn big and grave mistake. What were you going to offer me, Spawn? You've got nothing I want except your life. It's all any of you from heaven or hell have to offer me. So even though his shoulders are completely shattered right now, Spawn has to go into defense mode, takes out his gun and just shoots. And resistance is weak right now because every bullet passes effortlessly through Bludd's body. Did you think for one moment we'll share our power with you, with anyone? Bludd slaps the gun out of his hand, breaks the other shoulder, or actually shatters that in that fact, picks him up and throws him down, breaking Spawn's back like Bane did to Batman, but without the knee. Not after centuries of torture and oppression at the hands of your gods. This is our time. He takes the pull and impales Spawn right there, and no one will stand in our way, and flies away like, yeah, I did that like a top G, and you laying dead like a bottom G or a dead G. Hey, but then again, Spawn is still top G in my book. So Spawn's just laying there. We're just gonna watch it for a little bit. Now, as we watch Spawn get all drippy and bloody, I want to take the time to say that this video is sponsored by coffee. So if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description or donate to the Super Thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to RatedComics YouTube channel. And also, don't forget to check out RatedComics.com for some really cool limited print Rated Comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. But with all that being said, let's get back into the content. So the night air becomes quiet. His pulse is gone, and possibly death has finally come for the anti-hero Spawn. Crows are going in, they're ready to gather, pick at their pickings, but Nyx comes in, is like, it's been hours since his last heartbeat. You fool, you a damn fool. She picks him up and she tells him, I warned you that this would happen, and all this necroplasm beam is beaming through Spawn right there. But at what cost does this happen? What in the heck is going to happen after there? But that is the end of Spawn issue number 360, where Spawn dies and Bludd and the vampires have won. Temporarily speaking, you know, gotta do a little clickbait with the videos, you know how that goes. But this is still shocking because he did die for a minute there. But there is a cost for Nyx bringing back his life. We just don't know about that yet. But what you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, I'd love to hear your feedback on this. But with all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until next time.